Democrats love wearing costumes. It's their thing. Think of Hillary Clinton walking around talking about hot sauce,
Okay,
or
fucking
Kamala
country.
Harris changing her accent depending on where she is. It's rare that a
You
Democrat
see that in?
wins, particularly in a red or a purple area, by
Alright.
preaching openly weakness on foreign policy, or say transing your kids, or raising your taxes.
Oh
Because
yeah.
honesty doesn't tend to work out too well for people who push this kind of stuff. So instead, Democrats frequently put on costumes and they pretend, and they lie. What's really fascinating is how they decide to pretend. What are they deciding to dress up as? So,
Oh, I
yesterday,
got him off.
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez did something kind of fascinating. She, of course, wants to run for president in 2028. Now, AOC is a chameleon. She'll go to a historically black church and she'll start dropping her G's.
Oh
She'll
shit.
show up outside an immigration facility and then
How the
cry
fuck
at an
that go
empty
on?
parking lot. Yesterday, she did something I
Gotcha.
have never seen before in
Damn.
American federal
Oh
politics.
shit.
She
Okay, you
put
got
on
it.
a
Oh, you're not
hijab at an event in
okay.
America.
I didn't see that
And
at
that's
first.
important. It says something. It says something about her,
Go
about
ahead.
where the left is going, about where America is going. See, it used to be that if you were a terror-supporting radical Muslim, you had to cosplay as a mainstream American, or at least get the media to do your dirty work for you. Now, Democrats are
Oh fuck, I thought you guys
cosplaying
could go.
as
Fucking
Muslims
bitch.
or as fellow travelers to radicals. Because here's the thing. The radical Islamists in America aren't cosplaying anymore. Ilhan Omar doesn't cosplay. Neither does Zohran Mamdani. Neither does Democratic Senate candidate in Michigan, Abdul El-Sayed.
Yeah.
They may sometimes pretend away some of their more radical Islamist edges, but they're not really trying to hide the ball very hard. And AOC is now cosplaying as one of those types. We'll explain why that is important in a moment. And of course,
Get in
we
there.
get some other Democrats playing dress up. You got Graham Plattner, the Senate Democratic candidate in Maine, who is wearing a Trump voter costume, at least what the left thinks Trump voters are like. Or James Tallarico, the Senate Democratic candidate in Texas, who's pretending to be a Bible-thumping Christian who loves ribs, when actually he just loves transing the kids. We'll get into all of that. Plus, Jill Biden admitting the truth about her husband's apparent mental incompetence on the campaign trail. Now she can finally say it. The New York governor breaking a dunk on Donald Trump, and the Pope going after AI. All of that on today's Ben Shapiro Show. So yesterday marked the conclusion of Ramadan, that is in Islamic culture, signaled by a celebration and a feast and some services called Eid. Okay, that's the end of Ramadan. It's also a time when, if any sort of military activity takes place, then radical Muslims pretend that that is not allowed because of Eid. Well, it's a Jewish holiday, mandatory that there's a war launched on it. In any case, Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez showed up to an Eid dinner with Zohran Mamdani. Now, Mamdani is at least somewhat consistent here. And during the campaign, he showed up a couple of times in a thobe. Kind of strange that he showed up in a thobe, which is the long robe, marked by an Arsenal jersey. It says on it Emirates, and it says on the sleeve, "Visit Rwanda." Again, I'm not sure you could possibly signal your various allegiances to foreign interests better than this, but, sort of fascinating. But Mamdani is Mamdani, right? Mamdani is precisely what you think Mamdani is. He is a radical Islamist who is masquerading as a Gen Z TikToker. He's a socialist who wants to bring down the country. I mean, I don't think that you can really sort of hide what Mamdani is, and he's not trying too hard to hide what he is. He's not the story. The story is what AOC is doing here. So AOC is wearing hijab. That's what she's doing. And I've heard some people saying, well, she's just wearing a scarf. Okay, you can wear a scarf in a way that is not a hijab. She is clearly wearing a scarf to look like hijab. There's no question that's what she is doing. It is indistinguishable from hijab. And we should say at this point what hijab is. Hijab in Muslim countries all over the world is mandatory. It is mandatory head covering. And if you do not wear it in places like Iran, they will kill you. If you do not wear it mandatorily in radical Islamist countries, you will be punished. And again, you can see there is a Muslim woman who's taking a selfie with AOC, and they are wearing precisely the same head covering. She is wearing precisely the same kind of scarf in the same kind of way. That is what she is doing, and that is on purpose. It is not some sort of strange, aberrant behavior by AOC. She's doing that for a reason.
Yeah, no choice.
I can give you a contrast, by the way. Nancy Pelosi, way back in 2007, it was controversial for her to do this at the time. Way back in 2007, she showed up in Syria. And in Syria, she had a scarf, and she wore the scarf kind of like a regular scarf. Right? That just looks like your grandma going out in the rain to go down to the local market. That is not looking... No one would look at a woman like Nancy Pelosi wearing that head covering and imagine that she was in an Islamic country wearing hijab. no one would look at AOC dressed as she is dressed, wearing what she is wearing, and not think hijab. Clearly, she's wearing hijab. And that matters because there's been sort of a long-standing policy in the United States, bipartisan policy, by the way, that when women even go to the Middle East in the United States, in politics, they don't wear hijab. Laura Bush in 2007 went to Saudi Arabia, no hijab. Condoleezza Rice, 2007, no hijab. Nancy Pelosi went to Saudi, actually.
Oh, boy.
No hijab. That's why it was a controversy when she went to Syria and she put on the scarf. Hillary Clinton in 2012, no hijab. Michelle Obama in 2015, no hijab. Why does that matter? The reason that that matters is because when Western women go to the Islamic world, they are making a point very often, which is, I am not going to be forced into a traditional Islamic hair covering that has been used for hundreds of years as a way to treat women as second-class citizens. That is just a reality. Ursula von der Leyen, again, not a right-winger, former German defense minister in 2016, she went to the Middle East, she did not cover her hair this way. And she said, no woman in my delegation has to wear the abaya. Abaya is a different kind of head covering. The right to choose your own clothing is a right shared by men and women alike. It annoys me when women are pushed into wearing the abaya. Condi Rice wrote in her memoir about the time she went to Saudi Arabia and the crown prince handed her an abaya. And here is what she wrote at the time. She wrote, quote, the crown prince pulled out a gift-wrapped package. I have a gift for you, he said. It was a full-length, beautifully embroidered abaya, the black robe and veil Saudi women traditionally wear. I had it made especially for you, he said tenderly. Our women wear them. Yes, as a sign of oppression, I thought. Which is correct. I mean, realistically speaking, millions, hundreds of millions of women all over the world are forced into these sorts of head coverings. And so it's kind of strange that AOC would don one in the United States. Now, I know the response that's coming here, right? Because I wear a funny head covering, right? I'm an Orthodox Jew. I wear a kippah or a yarmulke. How dare I talk about AOC wearing hijab? Now, you'll notice I'm not talking about Ilhan Omar wearing hijab. She's a Muslim woman. She wants to wear a hijab, her business. But let me start with the dumb and wrong comparison. Politicians will put on a yarmulke at Jewish events. So first of all, no Jew has ever asked a politician to put on a kippah. It is not a thing. As an Orthodox Jew, okay, let me just say this. Don't do this. No one's asking you to do this. It's silly. It's really stupid. You have no religious or moral obligation to wear a kippah or to cover your head in a synagogue if you're a Jew, a non-Jewish man. There's literally no reason to do it.
Just fucking forfeit.
So don't do it. It's stupid. It's dumb, and you look dumb. Also, as an Orthodox Jew,
I would never do that. What I just said.
I have never seen an Orthodox Jew ask a woman to wear what's called a sheitel, right, which is the most religious hair covering. It's essentially a wig to cover your hair, or a tichel.
Oh no,
another
I know how to play, bro.
very religious hair covering.
I was
Nancy Pelosi came to my synagogue. I mean, first of all, she wouldn't be very popular, but if she did, not a single woman at the synagogue would come up to her and say, here is a tichel or a sheitel, you need to put it on. It would be really weird. I've never heard anybody doing something like that. Okay, there's a category here that's like generic hair covering at a religious site. Again, that would be like, theoretically, Nancy Pelosi putting on a normal scarf in 2007. Or the fact that lots of women will put on a veil to cover their hair if they visit the Vatican. Right? It's sort of a cross-religious thing. You go to a religious site and you want to cover your hair out of respect. But that's not what AOC was doing. Again, she didn't just cover her hair out of respect for the religious ceremony. Look at the picture. The picture is there. It is not distinguishable how she is wearing her scarf from hijab. And I don't think that that's an accident. That is a choice. It is an overt choice.
Yo, what up?
She put on hijab for a reason. And so we should ask what that reason is.
I'm in a tournament right now.
Hijab is a different thing. All over the world, it is a sign of submission of women. That's a reason why France has banned particular types of head coverings in public spaces, because France sees certain types of head coverings as submission to radicalism. And this is why AOC did it. That's why she did it.
Do I have you?
It's not a bug. It is not a mistake. It is a feature.
Yeah, I'm down.
AOC is cosplaying in solidarity with foreign radicalism. It's that simple. That is why she did it. She's not covering her hair in some sort of perfunctory fashion as a sign of religious respect, which, again, is cross-religious and happens all the time. And I wouldn't be talking about this if she had just put a scarf on the way that Nancy Pelosi put a scarf on. And this is not a minor thing. She is cosplaying as a member of the supposedly oppressed foreign contingent in the United States. That is what she is doing, because she believes this is the rising tide in the Democratic Party. She believes the rising tide in the Democratic Party is foreigners who come to the United States and say that America sucks. She believes that Ilhan Omar is the rising tide, and that Rashida Tlaib is the rising tide, and that Zohran Mamdani is the rising tide. people who come here as immigrants to the United States or are the children of immigrants and decide that America is horrible and that the problems of the world must be laid at America's feet. And she is signaling solidarity with all of that. That's the idea. That is why she is doing that. This is not a sign of generic religious respect for Muslims. That is not what she is doing.
You heard me,
So
Tuff?
that would not be newsworthy. The reason people were commenting on this is for a reason. Everything that lady does is scripted. Everything she does is thought out in advance. That is a deliberate choice. AOC is the most practiced actress/politician of her era. If you truly believe she got up that morning and just grabbed a scarf from the shelf and decided that she was going to wear it and it just coincidentally looked like hijab, you're wrong. You're wrong and you're ignorant. And you're being deliberately ignorant. She is doing that for a reason. It is a virtue signal to the people who believe that America is responsible for all the problems of the world, that third world cultures all over the world have been put upon by the United States, and she is signaling her solidarity with.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
Because in a couple of decades, there's going to be 0 sitcoms on television. They would have just laughed.
Yeah.
They would have kicked you out of that office. Get the fuck out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. Meanwhile, that's true.
Well, this is why I'm just going to go back to quickly AI because it shows we're evolving. You know, remember, Joe, at one point, movies were black and white. They didn't have sound.
Really?
Yeah. They were, and then talkies came and color and digital. And so I love it that every form of our entertainment is evolving and becoming, there's stuff going to come that we don't even know, which I love.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I think sitcoms didn't have to go away. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe not, but maybe so. Like the new way, like your daughters probably don't want to sit down for half an hour.
They love sitcoms.
They do?
They watch old ones.
Okay, well, I was wrong. I was really wrong. And
Well,
I'm hurting.
Me and my youngest, we sat through the entire season. I mean, all seasons of Big Bang Theory. That was me and my family. We watched that one.
Huh.
Yeah. My wife and then we watched Young Sheldon, which was the next version of it. Young Sheldon was really good. It was a single cam show that was on Netflix, and it was Sheldon as a young kid. It was the genius kid as a young boy.
Yeah.
Very funny show, but totally different. Like really cute, sweet show, but not in front of a live audience. And I think there's something I loved doing news radio. I really did.
Yeah.
And but it was just because it was an insanely talented cast, and we were all like brothers and sisters. We had so much fun.
Family.
For 5 years, we worked together. We got drunk all the time, and it was so silly.
Yeah.
It was such a fun set.
It's like summer camp.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really, and the show I think was really good.
Yeah, it did well.
And also, here's the best part: it was never really successful, which was great because none of us got really rich or famous from that show. It was really, it was always like not doing so well in the ratings. We got moved 9 times in 5 years, and this was back before the internet, so you couldn't like send out a tweet, "Hey, we're on Sunday nights now."
Wow.
You know, and it was back also when nobody had.
This is I just saw this trailer the other day. This is a spin-off from Big Bang Theory, but it's not just like, you know, in front of an audience sitcom, and it's not multicam either, I suppose, but it was popping up.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, it's called Stuart Fails to Save the Universe. But it's a new show, you know. It is a comedy. It is a 30-minute show,
it's
kind of.
in that universe.
Yeah. Even like the logo is like got the same kind of.
Wow. It's on HBO.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wild.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wait, you don't know about unclaimed money? This is something everybody should know about. The government may owe you money, and BinVerify.com helps you see if there's any in your name.
Go on.
Okay, let's say you have money left over from an old job, a closed bank account, tax refund, pensions, inheritance, security deposit. Each year, millions of dollars like this go unclaimed.
Wow, you need to tell me how I could check if there's anything for me.
Just go to BinVerify.com to see if there's any unclaimed money in your name.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, you need equipment that keeps pace. Put the #1 selling compact excavator in the world and the #1 selling compact track loader in America to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer.
God damn it.
Who's created more bangers than that Chuck Lorre guy?
Oh my God, yeah.
That guy's created so many
Yeah.
big sitcoms.
He did.
He was Big Bang Theater. What's that?
An article he wrote, or I just read interviewing him, said that those shows kind of died because like The Office and Curb kind of killed it for a while.
Interesting.
The single camera
the single
stuff,
cam,
yeah.
no audience.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking I wouldn't want to go sit and watch a taping of a show right now. How much would they have to pay an audience to do that?
Right.
Well, you only have to pay the audience until the show becomes successful.
True. Yeah, I guess people would want to go.
Yeah, you don't really want a paid audience because they're not as much fun. Like news radio in the beginning, nobody knew who the fuck we were. But by season 3, the audience was news radio fans.
Yeah.
And it became a totally different thing. It was really fun. And Phil Hartman used to do stand-up.
Oh, nice.
He had talked about doing stand-up in the clubs, but he was really good at impressions. He would do Bill Clinton impressions.
Great, yeah.
And he had bits. He had little things he would run. And he would just do it for fun. And, we had talked about him actually doing it in clubs, and he thought about doing it. But it was, the whole thing was silly. Like, Andy Dick would address the audience. People would answer questions. We had a good warm-up guy. It was like a party that was going on. And
Yeah.
everybody had a great time. And that was after the show, caught its gear. But it never was popular until
Yeah.
it became syndicated. Then was the syndication. Then it became really popular.
At least yours was sort of popular. Every week they'd put out the top 100, and my sitcom was always number 99 or 100. So at least yours was probably up in the top 30.
No. One day, Lou Morton was one of our writers, and Lou every week would show up with a T-shirt with the number on it that he would draw with magic marker of what we were. And one day he showed up and it said 88. I go, 88? He goes, yep. I go, no. He goes, yeah. I go, fuck.
Dude, I was 100 every week.
Dude.
Wow. What network were you on?
The WB.
We were on NBC.
Yeah, okay. So WB
Yeah.
didn't have affiliates all across
Right.
the country. We only had like 60%.
88 at NBC is you're barely alive.
But still, 100 hurts.
Yeah.
100.
Well, they always tell us, don't worry, we're not worried about the numbers. We know you got to find your audience again. Now you're on Monday night.
Yeah.
You used to be on Sunday.
Oh,
and
man.
And one time we were on Thursday night. We were in the Friends sandwich. So it was Friends and Seinfeld, which Paul Sims, the executive producer of News Radio, famous called the shit sandwich, because in between Friends and Seinfeld, you would have like Caroline in the City and these shows that weren't as good.
Do you want to hear about
Honestly.
Salt in the Wound?
Yeah.
So mine was number 100, okay? It was called Simon. It was me. I was the star. I played Simon. Jason Bateman played my brother.
Look at that.
And the lead girl, Andrea Bendewald, we ended up dating. She became my girlfriend. Her best friend was Jennifer Aniston. She lived with Jennifer. So I would go and stay at Jennifer's house every night with my girlfriend. We were like Three's Company. And I'd have to sit there and watch Friends with Jennifer, the number one show, while me and Andrea were at the bottom at number 100. It was like, Love Jennifer was so happy, but talk about salt in the wound. It was like, oh, damn.
Isn't it crazy, though? But you're on TV. You're living
Yeah.
the dream. This is one of the
Oh, it
things
was great. It was great.
The earliest social media was the Variety magazine and the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah.
That was like the same thing where these people would compare themselves to everybody else. And they
Yeah.
would look at the rankings. And I would show up on the set and, like all these people loved to read those things. And they were reading those things. And I started calling them the Devil's Rag. I go, why are you reading the Devil's Rag? I go, because we were complaining. Like, I can't believe we're number 36. If we were on, Thursday night, we would be number 2 or number 1 or whatever. And I go, last time I checked, I'm on TV.
Yeah.
I go, we're on TV. We're on TV on NBC. There's not a lot of people that get to be on TV.
Yeah.
Like, this is great. We're living the dream. So we're not number 1. Like, you guys are reading that, and you're forgetting how many people that you're friends with that are going on auditions right now that would kill
Yeah.
to be on NBC. But it's the Devil's Rag. It's the same thing that happens with, you say, oh, I just got a new car. I'm pretty happy. And then, oh, Jeff Bezos got a yacht. Fuck.
I'll be
It's the same
honest.
thing.
I was like you. I was like, I'm on TV. But I got to tell you, as we got deeper into the season, and I had to sit there beside Jennifer Aniston and watch her number one show every week, and old 100 is sitting beside her. I got to say, it started to seep in where you're just like, fuck, I'm on TV. It's sort of like there were days when it was just you could feel it. Not blaming her, but just the business. It was hard to sit at one end and see the other end, but that's the way it works.
It's the way it is, but you gotta really just be happy that you're
it's
on
great.
TV.
You're winning the lottery.
Yeah, you won the lottery. You just didn't win the mega Powerball.
Yeah, and I loved it. I got to
way-
work with Jason, and I was the star of I came from the suburbs of Toronto. Never thought I'd do anything. Here I am. I'm the star of my own sitcom, Simon.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I share your attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them that don't work, man.
Yeah.
I was on the set, and we were there. Like, so you'd go to Sunset Gower, and there'd be a bunch of other places that were next to you.
Yeah.
And I'd go visit with all those guys. Because, like, a lot of them were like
And then
Lenny Clark.
gone.
Lenny Clark was right down the street because he
Lenny.
was on the John Larroquette show. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I got a little story about that when you're done.
Please,
I'll
go
tell
ahead.
you.
Tell me.
Are you sure? You
Yeah.
don't want to finish?
Did John Larroquette yell at you?
So before I got my own sitcom, so I was in Hollywood. I did 2 auditions. I did one for Ellen DeGeneres' first show. It was called These Friends of Mine. And I was a guest star on the show with Molly Shannon.
Cancer's hard. I experienced life at St. Jude. Every dollar that goes to St. Jude goes to a good place. It's keeping families together during the hardest thing they'll ever face. St. Jude saved my daughter's life.
I love St. Jude.
When you support St. Jude through your company employee giving program, you can help make cures possible for kids with cancer. To learn more, visit stjude.org.
And then my second audition was for the John Larroquette show. And I went in and auditioned, and the feedback to my agents was John said, this guy wants his own sitcom. And I said to my agents, I said, you're damn right I do. And the next gig I got was my own sitcom.
Oh, that's
so it was
hilarious.
Like, Chick Chat was pretty cool.
So you think he didn't like you because you wanted your own sitcom, or he thought you were too good for his show because you want your own sitcom?
I think he must have sensed I walked in there with attitude or cockiness, which I didn't. I just did the audition, but he must have been reading my vibe somehow.
Well, that's you.
Yeah, so
Well, people that don't, that's how you walk. Like people that don't, this Harlan, you've always been like this.
I have.
From the moment I met you.
Yeah.
You've always been like this very happy, very confident guy. You never look rattled to do a show. You always look like you're having a good fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
All of us, like, there was moments where everyone had a big show and you're like, fuck, real nervous. You were never like that.
No.
You were always like happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
I don't know one person that doesn't like you.
Oh, wow.
Do you know how
wife?
crazy that is?
No, I'm not even married.
But do you know how crazy that is? Like, I know
thank
every
you.
comic that I know has a comic that they don't get along with, or that they hate.
Yeah.
Someone hates them, or they hate them, or there's some fucking, fuck that guy, that guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
His comedy sucks. No one says that about you. Do you know how amazing that is?
That's a blessing.
We were talking about that in the
Thank
green
you.
room one day.
Aw.
We were talking about it in the green room because it was after you came on with Dimitri. I told everybody I was howling. He waited the whole show before he pulled his fucking snake out of his pants. By the way, that snake sat right in front of Donald Trump when he was here.
I loved it. I told you that.
I know you did. So that conversation that we had in the green room was like, who the fuck do you know that doesn't like Harlan? And we all sat around and talked about it. There's no one.
Aw.
You are like
you.
the most universally loved comedian that I know.
Oh, my gosh.
I have to defend Tony to everybody.
Yeah, Tony, yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He is, yeah.
It's just like in that world, you have to understand the roast world. Like that is not the real world, kids. That is you're going for blood. You know? Like if you're in a cage fight and you elbow someone in the face, it's not because you're a bad person.
You have
it's like,
to.
That's
your
the game.
job.
That's the game we're playing.
If you don't do it, you're letting yourself down. You've got to go in and fight. Yeah.
That's the game we're playing.
Yeah.
These are the rules that we're under.
Yeah.
We're all talking shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's
and so when you see people complain about it,
yeah.
say, I understand the general public that's not aware of what roasts are, because the reality of roasts are, especially for like if you're a 22-year-old kid, the last time there were roasts on television before the Tom Brady roast was literally 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the Charlie Sheen roast, the Donald Trump roast, the Comedy Central roast? They used to have them all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
They were a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's a long time in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Right? So those things don't exist to kids. To kids, comedy is joking about stuff. Comedy is Chris Rock. Comedy is Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Comedy is Louis C.K. That's what they think of comedy is. They don't even understand the jokes. Like that this is roast jokes are fucking mean. They've always been fucking mean.
They can be cruel too.
Personal, ruthless. Go back and watch all those old Comedy Central roasts. They were fucking brutal.
Yeah.
They were brutal. Patrice would just eviscerate the entire fucking stadium. Those things, the thing is, like, if you're a person and you're not accustomed to roast and you don't get why those jokes are so mean, I get it. But comedians that are getting upset about these roast jokes, fuck all the way off. Just fuck all the way off.
All the way?
You fucking traitor.
All the way off.
You know what this is. You know exactly what this is. You're a fucking traitor. You're just using this moment to try to boost yourself up, to try to, like, knock down what's happening in these. You could disagree with the content. You could say, I think they went too far with this. I don't think. But this fucking pretending that these people are actual racists and Nazis just because they're telling these jokes that are in a roast, like, fuck all the way off.
Yeah, don't suit up. Go out and play hockey if you don't want to play hockey.
Yeah.
Like, sit on the bench.
Yeah.
And don't badmouth the people playing hockey. Yeah, it is what it is, and
that's the game. That's the game we're playing. We're playing this ruthless. And by the way, you know who didn't have a problem with it? Kevin fucking Hart.
Yeah.
Kevin fucking Hart has defended every single person that said horrible shit about him being lynched from a bonsai tree and all the craziest shit that they said.
Well, you know who else didn't have a problem with it is the people, the corporations that put it on corporate television, on corporate airwaves. So there's a whole subsection of the foundation of where the platform that they're given, they didn't care about it either, or they wouldn't do it. So,
well, they knew from the Tom Brady roast how powerful those things are now. The Tom Brady roast was the #1 watched thing in Netflix history.
Wow.
There's more than 55 million people watch that thing.
I gotta say, I'm not the hugest fan because I don't love cruel humor as much, but I do love it that Tom Brady roast, I feel like it kicked wokeness over the cliff, like those Buffalo. We were getting so woke, and we needed that roast to sort of course correct.
There's two things that killed woke.
Hey, my name is Jerry Norton, and in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to show you how to make $5,000 to $20,000 flipping houses using this contract that I will give you absolutely free. With this contract, you can flip houses without risk, without using your own money, without good credit, without experience or special licenses, and without funding of any kind. I personally have used this contract to flip hundreds of houses over the past 18 years and make millions of dollars, all without putting up my own money into the deals. And if you act fast, you can claim your free copy right now. Click the link on this video, you'll be taken to a page where you can claim your free contract. This can be a game changer for you, but you have to take the first step. Click on the link under this video right now, and I'll see you on the other side.
Oh my gosh. Oh boy. You can't be serious.
I feel like a rock star, and it's an amazing feeling. I'm nothing like Frank in real life at all. There's nothing about him like I have my ass out in front of 1,000 people every night. But in this role, with those boots and that wig and that voice and these songs, and it's like I have the best entrance I've ever had.
thing.
I gotta say, I'm not the hugest fan because I don't love cruel humor as much, but I do love it that Tom Brady roast. I feel like it kicked wokeness over the cliff, like those Buffalo. We were getting so woke, and we needed that roast to sort of course correct.
There's two things that killed woke. Number one, Kid Rock gunned down a whole fucking stack of Bud Light cans.
I love that.
That was it.
That was so good.
That might have been it.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
That might have been it because then they got to see the real financial consequences of being fucking completely insane.
Yeah.
That people were fed up. They're like, enough.
Yeah.
And Kid Rock saying, fuck you, Anheuser-Busch. Like, that is, that's a big hit to the stock price. And then people realize, oh, this is a micro set of people that are very loud, but it's not the macro. It's not. It's not the general population.
It's even smaller than micro.
Yeah.
It's like micro.
Not only that, but the people that were in it, a lot of them abandoned ship.
Yeah.
A lot of them abandoned ship.
Virtue signaling is done.
They just realized they got caught up in a thing that was like the way people were behaving. And so they imitated what was going on in their social groups. It's a normal thing that people do, but it wasn't rational. And that's why it got shot down by Kid Rock.
By the way, what kind of gun did he use? I don't know guns. I bet you know what he used.
I think he used an AR.
What's
if we
that?
go back and look at it, it's an assault rifle.
Is it like automatic?
Semi-automatic. I mean, maybe he used an automatic. He's in Tennessee. They have some solid gun laws.
He just blasted away.
You can kind of have whatever you want.
How many in a clip for an AR? Do you know?
It's called a magazine. And
see, I don't know. I don't Canadian. I don't know anything about guns.
They vary.
A magazine.
They took all your guns up there in Canada.
Well, we never had them.
What is he shooting there?
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. Let's see the video of him doing it, and I can kind of tell you better.
That's wild.
Kid Rock shoots back at Bud Light. How many views does this have? How many views does this video have?
The news reporting of it. I don't mean he didn't post it on YouTube.
Look at this.
Oh man.
Okay. That's an AR, I think.
That's the magazine.
But it might be a fully automatic.
That's not a clip?
Let me hear it, please. Yeah, I think that's fully automatic. Yeah, that's fully automatic, 100%.
Wow.
So he has some kind of machine gun.
I want to go out. I want to shoot up a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper just for fun. I love Dr. Pepper, but now I want to shoot some pop.
Why don't you just go shoot something you don't like? Because it's kind of symbolic of something you're trying to kill.
Wolves?
Yeah.
I love wolves.
Butterfly MX is your complete property access control solution, providing a secure, convenient, and affordable way to manage access on the go. Butterfly MX, property access made simple.
So here's the deal. The hard left is not just wrong. They are not just being stupid. Many of them are literally working for and with enemies of the United States, which is why podcaster and streamer
You want to shoot a wolf. We're not going back to the wolves.
Depends on where they are.
Forget
Listen,
it.
if wolves are in the mountains and they're just being wolves and they're eating elk and deer, and I'm all for wolves. I'm not an anti-wolf person, but I think you shouldn't bring them into residential neighborhoods and drop them off in ranches. I think that's fucking ridiculous.
I'm bringing you back.
But I think that wolves in the wild are important.
Yeah.
I'm not an anti-wolf person. I just don't like people doing what I call ballot box biology, where you get people to decide by voting that are never going to experience these wolves. Do you think we should reintroduce wolves to Colorado? And all these people that just got back from Whole Foods like, yeah, that would be amazing. I heard it was going to help the sprouts grow. And they vote yes, and then these poor lambs are getting eaten alive.
Have you shot a wolf?
No, I don't want to hunt wolves. I would shoot a wolf if I thought the wolf was like endangering my family or trying to kill my dog or something like that. But I love wolves.
Okay.
I don't not like wolves. I think they're awesome. Have
you ever heard a wolf howl in the wild?
No.
It's very haunting.
No.
It's very ghostly. Even more, I know you've heard coyotes, but a wolf has this long howl. It's almost, I can see why Native Americans are so spiritually connected to it. It's very ghostly and it's spiritual almost. It's a very a beautiful sound.
No, they're amazing animals. But... That's pretty good.
Sort of like that.
You know, if you do that, I had a friend who had
Sorry, it
wolves.
slipped. Yeah.
I had a friend who had wolves. And
Yeah.
if you do that in his house, they start howling. They
Oh
go,
yeah. Yeah, they go nuts.
Yeah, I would go over his house and
Father?
wow, what a wild animal. What a
They're amazing.
crazy noise. They're incredible.
They're incredible.
That's so awesome.
I saw one in
And
the
by the
wild.
way, they're important to keep
They are.
populations. I just don't
Of
think you
course.
should reintroduce them to fucking Aspen, you assholes. It's
I don't
just
know.
stupid.
It might be fun to see a pack of timbers taking down a skier, like Charlie Sheen coming down the hill with Denise Richards and
You think that would
12
be good?
timber wolves like
You
take
like
them
that?
down and
There was a movie about
rip
that.
out their.
There was a movie about that called Frozen. Not like the Let It Go, Let
Oh
It
yeah,
Go.
it was with Liam Neeson.
No, that was The Gray. The Frozen movie
Hello,
is a
someone knows
horror
their wolf
movie.
movies.
It's a horror. I know all the wolf movies. It's
Whoa.
a horror movie about these kids that are skiing, and they get stuck on a ski lift because they forget they're up there, and there's
Okay.
wolves down there.
Okay.
And they get killed.
Oh,
So the guy
God.
falls and his legs break, and then the wolves come and get him.
See, you're gonna get mad at me, but I don't. A movie like this wouldn't scare me because I just know wolves to be skittish like this.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. If you're injured
Like
like that,
lions, leopards, jaguars, like forget it. They'll take you down, but my experience with wolves is they're more skittish around humans. But I don't want to get into it again.
You're gonna
We
get
can go
into
to
it again.
Arby's later and have a fight.
if you have a broken leg like that guy did in this movie,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you're
then-
bleeding and
yeah.
they can smell it.
Okay,
they're
then
tearing
you're
him apart
done.
right now. Look at it. Watch,
Yeah.
watch it. They're eating him. They're eating him. They're killing the man.
Is that Denise Richards?
No.
No. It looks like Drew Barrymore.
Spoiler alert. They live. They
Oh,
live. Also, spoiler alert. No wolves in New Hampshire. It's all bullshit.
Oh yeah, there probably was at one point.
Yeah, they killed them all because
Yeah.
they were killing people and livestock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Idiots.
You know how they killed them too? Most of them they poisoned. What they would do is they would inject strychnine into horses and leave the horse carcass, and the
Oh,
wolves
wow.
would eat it, and then they would all die.
Wow, they did a lot of trapping too. Those cruel, the
Oh, yeah.
the snap traps.
Yep, they did that too.
I knew some old trap guys up when I worked up north, and these guys, you might not want to hear this, but the way they'd take them out is they'd trap them in the leg traps, and then they didn't want to damage the pelt, so then they walk up to them while they're trapped and they just clonk
Club
them.
'em.
They club them to death.
Like how they club seals like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Horrible.
Yeah, I don't like that.
The clubbing seals, man, was rough.
That
I
was
saw some of those
rough. You
videos.
ever see those videos? And the seals,
God.
at least a wolf would run away. These
can't even
seals,
move.
they're just laying out sunbathing, and they walk up and just bam, smack and pop their skulls.
I know, and you're doing that for their fur.
And the babies, they'd smack the babies because they had that beautiful white fur. Oh my gosh. These things are like a chromosome away from being a sex toy. They're so cute. Wow.
Wolves are good.
Yeah.
You just don't want them in your neighborhood.
I do.
They should be in the woods.
I love them. I wouldn't mind if they were around.
You say that. You say that. Do you have a dog?
I've had them.
Take the wheel of a new 2026 Sportage Hybrid and set out on your next adventure from Bridgewater Kia.
Fuck me.
Enjoy impressive range and a standard 12.3-inch curved touchscreen display with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Click now to view our inventory during the summer sticker sales event.
Hello，大家好，我是二重螺旋制作人石贝大雄，我是二重螺旋技术美术文森。大家好，我是你们的老朋友昂宁美术小智。啊，小智，前段时间减肥去这个成功了没有？没有成功。啊，失败了。啊，那好，那个大家也很好奇啊，小智虽然回来了，但是我们小段消失了。啊，小段他也是最近吃的比较好，所以他回陆重造去了。那这次呢，就由我们邀请的新的同学，策划同学上来，小游给大家做个自我介绍。
大家好，我是新人策划小优，参与了二重螺旋里的一些系统和玩法的设计。
What if you came out and your dog was getting eaten alive by wolves? Because they eat dogs.
I lost one of my dogs to coyotes.
Yeah.
I remember the day you told me your pit bull went up and took out a whole squad of coyotes.
No, it wasn't my pit bull.
Oh,
was,
I thought it was yours.
No.
Your
was,
neighbors?
it was one of my friends who worked at a pet store. Who was also worked at a veterinarian's office.
Oh, okay.
And he told me the story about this pit bull that came into the veterinarian's office. It was covered in cuts. A big pit bull.
Yeah, you told me this like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was like one of those. You know, there's these companies that take pit bulls and they breed them and make them like 120 pounds.
Yeah.
They keep breeding them bigger
They
and bigger.
look like
This was one of
monsters.
those. This thing was a fucking tank.
Like a tank.
And he said it was covered in cuts. And they asked the guy, like, what happened? He goes, I don't know. You know, I came home. He was all fucked up and bleeding.
Yeah.
So he brings him in. They stitch him up. And then the guy follows the blood trail out into the hills. And he finds 9 dead coyotes.
Yeah, I remember you told me that. We were at the store one night, and you told me that you just heard it. I was like, wow.
Like, that is the nuttiest
That
fucking
story stayed with me because it was so, like,
He
crazy.
said he went there. He said it looked like Vietnam.
Yeah.
He goes, there was just their necks were torn apart. Their
Yeah.
fucking legs were broken. Because this pit bull, once he grabs a hold of him, he just starts shaking him.
Vice
Coyotes
grips.
weigh like 30 pounds.
Yeah, they're not super
They're not
big.
But they would do this thing where they would like corner an animal and they would trick it. And the way they would trick it, they would send one animal out there to get chased.
Yeah.
And so that
Very
the
cunning.
dog would chase it and they would all come in from
waiting.
the sides and tear it apart.
Yeah, they're
They just-
really smart that
They
way.
fucked with the wrong dude.
Yeah. Wow.
Isn't that a crazy story?
I remember that one. You told me that. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they're everywhere now. They're in
Coyotes are everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're really cool too. Coyote America, that book by Dan Flores, the same guy who wrote Bison Ecology, Bison Diplomacy. He wrote this amazing book about coyotes where he explains like why they're everywhere. Because gray wolves and coyotes don't breed, but red wolves and coyotes do. That's why you have those coy wolves on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Gray wolves have always killed coyotes.
Yeah,
So when gray wolves find coyotes, they kill them. And so coyotes are used to being persecuted by the gray wolves, and then they just keep moving to new places. That's what they do. So that's how they made it all the way across the country. So when people were killing coyotes or people were trying to hunt coyotes, they just moved. They just moved to new places.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
And now
they
they're
can
everywhere.
adapt. I see them in my front lawn almost every other week.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, I'm in the Hollywood Hills, and I see them walking
fucking
right
cool,
past
though.
my swimming pool.
I mean, it's not cool if you have a dog or a cat 'cause
No.
they will eat them, but
Yeah.
they are cool. It's a cool animal. to
Oh,
be
they're
around.
really cool.
And their howls are wild too. There's these
Oh.
yips in the middle, like.
Well, they go off sometimes if there's a fire engine goes by in Hollywood.
Yeah.
The coyotes will react to it and go off.
They also keep the rats down. Like
Yeah.
that's why you don't see a lot of rats.
Yeah,
they
that's
keep
right.
the rat population down.
Oh, yeah.
If they killed off all the coyotes, it would have a devastating effect for the ecosystem too. There would be a
Yeah.
bunch of shit that would be around all the time now
Yeah.
that they're killing and eating.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're cool animals, man. There was a girl, speaking of being killed by wolves, there was a girl in Prince Edward Island about 12 years ago, I think.
She
who
got
was-
killed by coyotes.
She got killed by a pack of coyotes.
Yeah.
She was out running with her Walkman on, and
She was like a promising folk singer.
yeah.
They said that those coyotes were unusual because they were used to killing moose. They were
Moose?
killing moose. Yeah, the coyotes would they were going after bigger game because there wasn't a lot of game there. So they were used to packing together and like taking out the moose by like attacking their legs.
Yeah.
Keep cutting at their legs.
Yeah, they're
until they can't
Achilles.
run.
Wow,
Yeah.
I've never heard of coyotes taking out a moose. That's wild.
Yeah, we looked it up on the show. It was
Wow.
like this was a very unusual
That's
area.
strange, yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why they think these coyotes killed this girl. And she wasn't big; she was small.
Yeah, she was out jogging. Yeah.
But that's the thing, man. They don't have rules. They don't like, well,
No.
we don't fuck with people and people
No.
don't fuck with us. But the orcas seem to. They seem to understand what we are. They've saved people, even out in the wild. Like people that fell overboard, they've saved them.
Yeah, isn't it strange that probably the top predator in the sea next to the sperm whale, the killer whale could take whatever it wants,
Yeah.
and somehow instinctively it leaves humans alone. I don't really understand it, and that's why I talk about sort of the programming of nature to step around humans somehow. Because it doesn't
Not all
make
of
sense.
them, though.
Humans look like seals. We're the same body shape, the same weight pretty much, and yet orcas, there's no documented kill of a human by an orca.
I know. Other
It's
than
weird.
SeaWorlds, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're so smart, and their brains are huge. They
Yeah.
have huge brains. We just equate intelligence with your ability to manipulate your environment. Like, so they don't have a house, they don't have cell phones. They must be idiots. But we don't know. And they clearly understand that we're different than everything else.
But that's what I mean. I think all the critters do.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
Show some respect, bitch. We're the ones with the guns.
It's Biatch.
Biatch!
Thank you.
I mean, look, we both love animals.
Yeah.
I know you love animals. I love animals too. I just love people more.
I love people the same, but if it came to deciding whether we left Earth with humans or animals, I'll be honest, this will sound mean, I'd give it to the animals.
Why?
Because they don't know cruelty.
That's not true.
They don't know malice.
True. Do you know, just listen, you're talking crazy talk. Do you know how bears kill things? They just eat them. They hold them down, they eat them. They don't even kill them first.
But so it's not from cruelty, it's for survival.
It doesn't matter.
Humans are cruel. Have you heard of Hiroshima?
Yeah, I have. That was probably less cruel than a bear eating you asshole first.
No, but there's no intent with a animal.
They're just trying to eat you.
An animal doesn't have intent.
Right, but the end result's still the same. If you were eating asshole first by a grizzly bear, you're not thinking, well, he doesn't have intent to be cruel. This is just how he eats me. Asshole first is his favorite way to go.
But he has to eat you. He can't go to the grocery store.
He doesn't have to eat you. He can kill you first and then eat you like a cat does.
But he doesn't know how. He doesn't realize he's being cruel. We do.
No, he doesn't care.
Right.
It's not that he doesn't know how. He could definitely kill you. If you were a bear and they were fighting, he would grab you by the neck and he would kill you like they try to kill each other. But when they eat you, they just don't care.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. There's no malice. Whereas humans.
But the result is the same. You're not going to take comfort in the fact that he doesn't have malice while he's eating your dick.
It's pronounced gourd.
You know that video, the audio of Grizzly Man getting eaten?
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes long.
Oh, yeah.
It's 5 minutes long of him screaming while this thing's just eating him by grabbing his thighs and pulling chunks out of his thighs.
By the way, they finally just recently released that audio, right? Because in the movie Grizzly Man, the director refused to play it.
No, it's not real. It's Werner Herzog. They destroyed that audio.
Yeah.
The fake audio that's online, that's just fake.
That's the new one.
Fake. It's not even new. It's been around forever.
Okay.
But you listen to it, if you know it's fake, you hear it, you go, oh, this is bullshit.
Oh,
It's like, it sounds fake.
Yeah.
It sounds fake.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, yeah, people are gross and cruel. So are chimps. You know, so what they do to monkeys is fucking horrific.
Cancer's hard. I experienced life at St. Jude. Every dollar that goes to St. Jude goes to a good place. It's keeping families together during the hardest thing they'll ever face. St. Jude saved my daughter's life.
I love St. Jude.
When you support St. Jude through your company employee giving program, you can help make cures possible for kids with.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but what they do to people, it seems like they're doing it on purpose when they bite your fingers off and pull your eyeballs out. It seems like they're being cruel. You know, I think it's a primate survival tactic, especially like primates that engage in war, like
Right,
chimps engage in war. You develop cruelty in order to be better at your job.
Yeah, but I think with them, they lack emotional cruelty. Like humans, we have the knowledge to know something's bad or good. They just know survival. And we engage in bad, which makes us a different kind of cruel.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Did I just win my first argument?
No, I mean, you're right. I agree with you about that. We have a certain type of cruelty that's not, you know, it's not like any other animal's cruelty because we're aware of how it's going to affect other people.
There you go.
Yeah. They're not really aware of it. They just don't care.
Yeah.
You know when they do those things where they communicate with chimpanzees, they teach them sign language.
Yeah.
You know, they've never had a chimp ask a question.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Because they don't
communicate,
care,
but they're never like,
yeah.
Why are you wearing clothes?
Yeah.
You know, there's not. You know what I mean?
I never thought of that.
Yeah,
That's
it's weird,
funny.
right?
Yeah. Can we get Arby's for lunch?
Yeah.
Like, why don't they ever ask for anything?
They don't ask.
Yeah, that's. Well, wait. Did you know what? That's not true.
How so?
Coco, the gorilla, he would ask for affection. He would ask for love and hugs. I think there's
yeah, but that's a request. That's not a question. Like, why am I here?
Oh, okay.
What is this building?
You're talking more of a philosophical question.
No, I'm talking about having actual curiosity about like its environment.
Right,
like,
I understand.
Why is your skin white and mine is not? What is?
Yeah, they're just not aware.
How come you don't walk on your hands? You
Yeah.
know, there's no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what we call intelligence is very compartmentalized. It's very boxed in comparison to our intelligence. We have the intelligence to understand this thing probably doesn't like being in the cage.
Yeah.
They don't think that way.
No. Do you believe in the concept of a missing link, like something in between Homo erectus and Neanderthal, and then us, modern day? Is there?
Well,
do
I
you think
think
there's a missing creature?
I think, first of all, the real problem is what's the evidence in terms of the fossil record? It's very incomplete.
Right.
Because it's hard to get fossils.
Right.
Like, for someone to leave a fossil behind, you have to die in mud, or there's specific conditions. So most animals that die, I think we looked it up before, it's like 99% are never going to leave a fossil.
Right.
So when they find things like Denisovans, so the Denisovans, I think they found in the 2010s or something like that. When did they find them? Was it more recently than that? Maybe it was more recently than that. So they just found like a tooth and a finger. And then they start finding bones. They're like, hey, this is not like a normal human tooth. This is not like a normal human bone. And then they do DNA tests on them, and then they go, oh, this is different. This is a different type of human. So
Right.
there's humans that lived alongside humans that we just found out about 10 years ago.
Huh.
So how many versions from ancient hominid to modern Homo sapien, how many versions were there that we have evidence of? That's what we don't know.
What's the Homo we're
2008.
missing?
Here it is. Michael Shunkov of the Russian Academy of Sciences and other Russian archaeologists.
Only scoring is fucking.
Oh,
What happened?
we just got scrolled, player.
What did that? That was weird.
We're
What
getting scrolled.
What did it just do? That was so weird. That
What-
was so weird. It's like they didn't want us reading this out loud.
What's the Homo we're missing?
That's a good question. So, archaeologists from the Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography, the Siberian branch of the Russian Academy of Sciences in Novosibirsk, Akademgorodok, investigated the cave and found a finger of a juvenile female hominid originally dated from 50 to 30,000 years ago.
Huh.
And then the estimate was changed to 76,000 to 51,000 years ago. Specimen was originally named X-Woman. So anyway, the whole thing is they found that this is, go back to that again, a novel ancient hominid genetically distinct from both contemporary modern humans and from Neanderthals.
Huh.
So they knew from that it's a new kind of human. And that's just 2008.
Yeah.
So this is 18 years ago they found that. So who knows how many ones they could find if they kept, if you had, there's a limited amount of archaeologists that are doing this kind of work. Imagine if you had thousands and thousands of them scouring Asia, scouring Africa, looking. There's probably a bunch more that we haven't discovered.
Oh, definitely.
So this idea of the missing link, I'm not sure if that's accurate.
Okay.
But then the
That's
question is,
I'm glad you said that because it sort of illuminated me a little.
Yeah.
Too. I hadn't thought of it in those terms.
2008, a Taiwanese citizen purchased a fossil Homo mandible dredged from the seafloor of the Taiwan Strait from an antique shop and donated to Taiwan's National Museum of the National Science. Attempts to extract the DNA were unsuccessful, but in 2025, protein analysis of the specimen designated Pengu-1 was published showing that it belonged to a male Denisovan.
It was just in a shop?
I love the missing link was in an antique shop.
Well, that's how they found Gigantopithecus, too. They found.
I like that old lamp. I'll take that plate. And how about historic missing link? How much is that? What the hell?
I think it's just a different kind of person.
Yeah.
You know, and then
interesting.
If they kept finding more of them, maybe we'd have a better understanding of like what we're talking about. But there's a giant leap, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's the biggest mystery in the entire fossil record is the doubling of the human brain size over a period of 2 million years.
Well,
it's a nutty thing that happened. All of a sudden our brains grew.
Well, what's interesting to me, too, is that you do have some fossilized remains that are very, very, very old that date back to, caveman era stuff. And then we have stuff closer to what we just looked at. But there's that one transitional where you'd think there'd be a transitional creature that they can't seem to find.
Well,
It's
they might
interesting.
find it.
They might. I hope
might.
they do.
And I think some of these are getting closer. They don't have like a lot of Denisovan bones, but there's going to be a few more that they find, I'm sure, if they keep looking. I bet there was probably a bunch of different kinds of humans. The question is like, why did we succeed? And why are we so much smarter than all the rest of them?
We should go antiquing this weekend, see what we can dig up. Well, according to that, this
I
thing
think that
links
was
in an antique
in
shop.
China, right? It was a long time ago.
I don't care if they bought China or pottery. Let's go in.
I gotta wrap this up, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Always good to see you, brother.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me,
Thank
man.
you for being here. Wingman, is it available streaming? Is it available everywhere?
It's only streaming on Apple and Amazon Prime right now, all over the world. And then in Canada, we will start streaming the end of June, and they might even do 60 to 90 theaters up there. So we're
beautiful.
excited. Yeah.
Fuck
so
yeah, dude.
Wingman, yeah.
And good luck with the Tony one, too. That sounds fun.
Yeah, and hopefully maybe we'll see you there.
Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
And congratulations on Guest of the Year. That's awesome also.
Oh,
Kill
that
Tony
was
last year.
Yeah, that was last year. Thank you, buddy. Great to see you. Love you, man.
Love you too, brother. All right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have read Genesis, like, on and off most of my life. Never noticed the first part of chapter 6 with the Nephilim until about 4 years ago. Someone mentioned it to me. And in the subsequent years, I must have had 25 conversations about the Nephilim. So it seemed worth talking to someone who understands exactly what the Nephilim are. What are the Nephilim? And am I pronouncing it correctly?
I mean, good enough. Yeah. It's the I am at the end. The im is the plural in Hebrew.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's a little bit of debate about where exactly the word comes from, because it's not a regularly used Hebrew word in the Hebrew Bible. Which isn't all that odd either. There are a lot of words that are only used once in the Hebrew Bible. But people have tried to do different things with it. Right? So there's a Hebrew verb nafal, which is the verb to fall. So some people have wanted to say, well, it's the fallen ones. But in Hebrew, Nephilim is reflexive, so it would be the ones who are fallen upon, right?
Yes.
Which is a little more difficult. But it seems pretty clear. Most people agree now because there's an Aramaic word, Nephilim, that ends with an N, that just means giant. And so it seems pretty contextually clear that this is just the Hebrew form of that word, and this is talking about giants. It's translated in the Greek Old Testament with giantes in Greek, which is where we get the English word giant. But a lot of people, when they hear the word giant now, think fee fi fo fum, right?
Yes.
That's not the core of the idea. So all of the words used for giant not only refer to a tall person, but could also be used to mean a thug or a bully or a tyrant. And the example I use is, and you're old enough to remember this, when we went into Panama after Noriega, they're always referring to him as Panamanian strongman.
Yes, always.
Yes. Noriega. And that wasn't talking about his awesome bench press.
No.
That was, that he was a dictator, right? He
Yes.
was an authoritarian. And so it's the same kind of idea, right? That it's characterizing these people as that sort of thuggish, brutish kind of character. And referring to them as tall or referring to them as giants is meant to symbolize and suggest that.
Okay.
And so in Genesis, at the beginning of Genesis, at the beginning of the flood story, in Genesis 6, we have to understand that the flood story is not a new story when Genesis is telling it. Right. This is, everyone had a flood story in the ancient Near East. So the text of Genesis is not primarily claiming, oh, there was this flood. It's talking about the flood that the original audience all sort of knew had happened.
Yes.
And
which it did happen, I think.
Right. Yes, there is a historical event, right?
Yeah.
That this is referring to. But you could have asked anybody from Greece to Mesopotamia to Egypt. They would have all agreed at that point that, yes, there was this advanced civilization. There was a flood that destroyed it. Current civilization is rebuilt after that.
Yes.
Now, one of the key differences in Genesis 6 that you already have in those first 4 verses is Genesis recasts what that civilization was like. So in the pagan sources, that pre-flood world was this golden age of, for the time, high technology, right? And technology in the ancient Near Eastern mind included magic. Magic was a sort of spiritual technology. And all of these things happened over the flood. And that sort of losing that world was sort of this great tragedy.
But everyone agreed it was a more advanced world than the world they lived in.
Yes. Yes. That there was knowledge there that had now been mostly lost.
Interesting.
And so you find the civilizations that grew up after that, and Exhibit A of that is the original Babylonian Empire. So like Hammurabi's Babylonian Empire at the height of the Bronze Age. People don't understand how powerful the global structure was in the Bronze Age. It's called the Bronze Age because they were smelting bronze. They were getting the copper from Cyprus and the tin from what's now Afghanistan.
Well, that's quite a distance.
And bringing that together, smelt bronze.
In a rock.
Yeah. And Hammurabi had a preference for a particular style of sandal from Crete, so he was importing those. There was sort of this global economy in the Bronze Age going on. And Hammurabi himself was from a group of people called the Amurru who took over Mesopotamia. Amurru means in Akkadian Westerners because they had come from what's now Syria. And those are the same people who are called Amorites in the Old Testament. We'll probably come.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made for anyone with an idea and a drive to bring it to life. Describe what you want and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it? Let's make your dream a reality right now.
The goddess of victory smiles upon the strong spirit.
Come back to them as we go forward. But Hammurabi and the other Babylonian emperors attributed their success and their ability to establish this empire to the fact that they had access to this secret wisdom from before the flood.
Do we have any sense how much earlier the flood took place? What's the timeline roughly?
It's so Genesis doesn't really give us a time. There are people out there who want to like add up the years and the genealogies. That doesn't really work.
Yes.
Because different textual traditions have different numbers. They didn't have there aren't numerals in Hebrew or Greek, and so you're using letters to code numbers.
Yes.
And so numbers get a little slippery in translation and copying and things. So a lot of people will attribute it to the Earth changes that happened at the end of the last ice age.
Yes. So
you're talking roughly 10,000 years ago. Yeah. Other people who are more literalists and want to add up those ages will say that it was more like 6.
But from the geologic record, because there is record of a flood.
Yeah. And there are massive, I mean, there are villages at the bottom of the Black Sea from that period, 10,000 years ago.
There are.
That are submerged, yeah. They're the remains of villages. The glacial ice that melted created a lot of large body of waters that were not there.
Yes.
And sea levels rose a great deal.
So do we think the flood came from melting glaciers?
That's probably the historical event that's connected to that.
Yes.
That when that ends, there's this massive shift, right? And places where there used to be civilization are now underwater, literally. Right. And so, yeah, all those changes happen, and there's this massive disruption.
So the villages currently at the bottom of the Black Sea were built during this golden age that preceded
previous
the flood.
to that, yeah.
And we believe that, and do we believe, just as modern people, that civilization was more technologically advanced than the ones that followed it?
I mean, if we're talking about, there is some evidence, sort of Bronze Age. I mean, you can't go completely Graham Hancock on this.
Yeah. That's actually exactly the question.
Yeah. And Graham Hancock, if you get into his stuff, he starts getting into some little new agey crystal technology, psychic technology stuff. That's a little iffy. But
we know that
there was definitely, you look at places like Göbekli Tepe and these things, there was definitely a level that was reached. There was a collapse. There was another move forward. At the end of the Bronze Age, there's another collapse.
Yes.
Right. And then rebuilding after that.
I mean, but there are ancient structures, stone structures, so we can't radiocarbon date them, but we don't, even now, can't say how they were built. Right? I mean, how would you?
Not exactly. Yeah. Right. We don't know exactly. We don't know because there's no. We're dealing with pre-literacy.
Yes.
Right. So we're making conclusions and guesswork. You go to Göbekli Tepe, you see the carvings of animals, you see the way they had skulls displayed in certain way. You know, we could do guesswork, but nobody left us a text to frame any of it.
Yes. You know what's really rare these days? A company that makes things in America, not just designed in America, conceived in America, assembled in America, but actually made in America, start to finish, in a factory with American workers. Brooklyn Bedding also give you 120 nights to try out the product. If you don't like the mattress, they'll take it back or swap it out. No hassle. That's how confident they are in the products they make. Visit brooklynbedding.com. Use the promo code Tucker at checkout for 30% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. But big picture, the pre-flood civilization, we think, reached some kind of apogee, some high point technologically, and then post-flood had to rebuild.
Right. And then as Bronze Age civilization, they're attributing. Now they're not saying we have some texts or something that survived the flood. They're saying that they're in contact with spirits who were active before the flood.
Yes.
And that it's the same spirits who are now revealing this wisdom to them. So you have this in Genesis 6:1-4, this Nephilim phenomena before the flood. And Genesis 6 says at this time and afterward. Right, and that and afterward is pointing to this sort of recurring or continuing or happening again.
So the physical world changes, but the spiritual world remains constant.
Right.
つの戦果を上げました。敵巡洋艦を撃沈。
So I just started freestyling, testing my mic, and this is what I did right here. So boom, I fed it to that, and then check what it did. Time out.
My name is Axel Leon. I'm from the south side of the Bronx. I've been doing music all my life, 20 years plus. They call me in the room to like finish something, to start something, have input on something. I think I have good taste. In Suno's favor, it works so much for somebody like me. It's like all the creators like me, like rappers, singers. We know what we're doing. We have all our processes, and then there's a toolbox that we're using. It's showing me stuff that I would otherwise not thought about that way. Yeah, I think it's a big help.
Let me do like a little fake ass hook and let me run it to Suno. How dare you make me feel alone? Then it goes out one time. How dare